In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why your Etsy sales are not what you would expect. Because trust me, I've been there. But 2 years later, knowing exactly what I know now as a multi-six-figure Etsy seller, there were some very clear reasons why my sales were pretty dead. And it's likely that you may be making some of the exact same mistakes because, to be honest, they're very easy mistakes to make. So let's get straight into it with the first thing that is absolutely killing your Etsy sales, and this is not reviewing your shop on mobile. So it's widely documented that over half of the shoppers on Etsy are actually shopping on their mobile phones. Yet, honestly, one of the biggest mistakes I see on Etsy is that so many shoppers, including myself, fully set up our stores using a laptop, and then we give no consideration to how our store is actually displayed on the mobile phones of over 50% of users that are shopping on Etsy. And there's three main areas that this problem is going to affect: your thumbnail images, your shop logo, and your banner. So firstly, I want you to take a look at these thumbnail images in particular, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So they appear absolutely perfect on desktop, no problems at all, but on mobile, it's a completely different story. The listing is not cropped correctly and key text is cut off from the thumbnail image. So this is just going to be massively hurting the click-through rate of that listing because parts of the thumbnail image are cut off and it can just come across as a little bit unprofessional. And now the exact same is going to apply also to your logos and your banners. So the key thing here is you have to make sure that everything is readable on both a mobile and desktop. And now your logo and your banner isn't going to affect your sales as much as what a bad cut off thumbnail image would. But I want to try and promote everybody on this channel to become the best sellers that we can. So every little detail counts. It's a really simple fix. Just pay attention to how everything is displayed on both a mobile phone and on a desktop. Right, moving on to the second reason sales are dying, and this is because of uncompetitive pricing. One of the biggest killers of Etsy sales in history. So if you price your products too high, then chances are customers are always going to go with the cheaper competition. But of course, if you price your products too low, then the customers are just going to think your products are cheap and they're probably not worth buying. So I think the key is to kind of be right in line with the average price for the products you're trying to sell. Or if you're a newer shop, then maybe just under the average price, just till you get the sales volume start rolling. So I know you're wondering, how do we find the average price of the products we're trying to sell? Well, I've got a great little tip for this, and I think you're going to really like this one. So say that we're going to sell a product on Etsy, like wrapping paper, and we want to price it for around $10. So to find the average price for wrapping paper on Etsy, of course, you just want to type into the Etsy search bar wrapping paper, and then I want you to take the price of the first 30 listings on Etsy that come up, and I want you to add them all together and then divide them by 30. So this is just going to give you the average or the mean of the first 30 listings that appear on people's searches for your given product. So for example, with the wrapping paper example, this is going to be £3.42 or $4.30, which is going to be under half of what we originally had our wrapping paper ideally marked up for at $10. So as you can see here with the example of the shopping paper, like this is just going to be such a clear reason why shoppers are going to be choosing the competitors' products over ours, which of course is just going to be a clear reason why we're going to be getting much less sales. Right, moving on to the next reason our product sales are being killed now, and this is because of poor product visibility. So look, you've got to think, right? If your products aren't appearing on people's screens, then your chances of selling that product to people are going to be a big fat zero. And one of the biggest culprits that lead to your products not showing up on more people's screens is going to be poor SEO. And now I do just want to make it clear quickly that SEO isn't going to be the only reason that your products aren't appearing on more people's screens, but in my opinion, it's one of the major factors. And it's also one of the ones that we can fix the easiest. So the big mistakes that I see people making is that they're either not carrying out any SEO keyword research at all, which is criminal, or they're trying to compete against absolutely massive shops for the most highest searched for keywords, which is just going to be incredibly hard to rank for. So say for example, you're selling a Christmas questionnaire game. Rather than just focusing on the main keyword of Christmas games that you can see here has over 270,000 items to compete against on Etsy, you're going to be much better off you going for a lower search, but also lower competition niche keyword, such as Christmas trivia, where you can see you're competing against only 5,000 other listings. Like, this is just gonna increase your product's chances of being more visible on more people's screens massively, and with that, increase your opportunity for sales. I love helping you guys out so much, and I know that not everybody has the time to be trawling through multiple keywords, knowing which ones they should and shouldn't be using. So as you know, I love to do Etsy shop reviews. One of the main things that I look for is, of course, SEO. Go over all of the SEO details in your store so that you don't have to. And if this is something that interests you, then just drop me a message on Instagram. I'd be honestly absolutely honored to take a look at your store and work with some of my subscribers. But yeah, next thing that's absolutely killing your Etsy sales, and this is going to be a lack of or bad reviews. And now don't panic, because even if you're a brand new shop, I'll show you exactly how to overcome this. But I think we all know why this is such a killer for our Etsy shops. So it's documented that around 93% of online shoppers read reviews before even considering to make a purchase online. So if they're going on your shop to buy a product and at the top of the review pile there's going to be a really devastating 1-star review, or if there's actually no reviews for them to read at all, then you can see why this is a major problem that is going to be really holding you back from making more sales. So look, I know if you've had a bad review, sometimes it can't be avoided. We've all had them. But what I recommend to do immediately is to always message the customer straight away and just try and get this problem resolved as soon as possible. And then of course, this is important. If you can't resolve the problem and the customer's not budging, just offer a refund. Like, I promise you guys, a refund of a single product or a single order is going to be so much better than the cost of having a really devastating review on your shop, okay? Like, I just can't stress how bad really devastating reviews are for killing your sales. And then of course, the next big problem, if you don't have many reviews or you've got no reviews at all, this is going to massively damage your shop because it doesn't allow the customer to build a level of trust. And of course, remember, no trust equals no sales. Simple as that. So if you have under 10 reviews, I'd say, then you really want to be calling on your friends and family. So just discuss with them that you've newly started an Etsy shop and you need to start building a level of social proof. So give them a 100% discount coupon and then just ask them to purchase some items from your shop. And I mean, this is going to be completely free for them to purchase because you've given them 100% off. But the key thing is that this is going to allow them to leave a legitimate review on Etsy, and it's just going to really help you at the start to get some of those reviews rolling in. And of course, you don't even need to send them any of the items from your store that they're actually ordering, but we're all nice people on this channel, so if they're helping you out, then there's probably nothing wrong with sending them a little something to help them out. All right, moving on. Next reason that sales are completely dead, and this is going to be because of low quality photography. Right, so photos sell products. It's as simple as that. If your photography or your mock-up images, if you're selling like print on demand or digital items suck, then your chances of making sales are going to be massively reduced. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that this is literally one key point I try to hammer home in basically every video, and you're probably absolutely sick of hearing it now, but good, it needs to be done. So if your photography and mock-up images suck, then what's the solution? Well, if you're selling print on demand or digital items that need a mock-up to sell the product, then I recommend to not use the rubbish mock-up images that you get straight from the print on demand website, but instead to invest in high quality mock-ups from somewhere like Etsy that we actually know convert. And then next up, if you're selling physical items and you're doing the photography yourself on your phone, which is absolutely fine by the way, I recommend there's a really quick way to get your product popping out of the screen is to use a blurred or highly contrasting background. So what this is going to do is just make your product really stand out and really pop on the busy Etsy homepage and give your product a lot higher chance of getting those customer clicks. So look, bad photography stands out, we all know it, and it's going to be an absolute killer of your Etsy sales. But yeah, moving on to the next reason now, and this is because of inadequate customer service. So look, this is another one that is very, very simple. Etsy loves well-run stores that give the customer not only an exceptional product, but also an exceptional service. So if you're lazy in replying to customer messages, or you're someone that just always ends up in back and forward disputes with customers, then this is just gonna absolutely kill your reputation with not only the customers, but also with Etsy themselves. And I said this is a simple one to fix, so I'm not going to dwell on it forever. Number one, make sure you've got an automatic message reply in place. So this can easily be done from your shop manager in the messaging section. And honestly, it just needs to be something so simple, just to let the customer know that you've received their message, and just to create a friendly atmosphere right from the first interaction. And another massive positive is that this is also going to help count towards your 100% message replies rate, which in turn counts towards your star seller badges, which, as we all know, Etsy absolutely loves. And like I mentioned earlier, if you get angry customers sending you messages asking for refunds or returns, please do not dispute it. Just swallow the cost and refund them. I say it a million times, one refund is so much better than a massively negative review. But yeah, moving on to the next thing now that is massively killing our shop sales, something that us as shop creators were all completely blindsided to, and this is gonna be our mindset. So look, we all expect loads of sales to be coming in within the first few weeks or the first few months of opening up our Etsy shop. We all expect our Etsy shop to give us financial freedom, escape our daily jobs, and just live a complete life of luxury. Well, I'm going to be honest with you here, and I'm just going to tell you that that is not the case, and it's not the case for around 99% of people. So the biggest thing that kills Etsy shop sales for 99% of people is just simply giving up. They set their expectations way too high, and then of course when those expectations are inevitably not met, it massively disheartens us and we just give up. And look, this is something that's completely natural, but how do we overcome this? Well, if you're a new shop just starting out, then I honestly, best advice I could ever give to you, I wouldn't even bother looking at any of the stats until I've got over 100 listings up at a minimum. So you need to be hitting this benchmark to start building a level of traction, not only with your customers, but also with Etsy themselves. And then secondly, I'd commit an absolute minimum of 1 year of just having my Etsy shop open, working on it, learning, and I'd literally treat this as a free college course. So I absolutely guarantee what you're gonna learn in 1 year of selling on Etsy and tweaking your shop daily and just consuming lots of information from places like YouTube, like this just is gonna put you ahead of 99% of sellers who simply are not doing this. And if you wanna hear some of the absolute best Etsy tips that I can give you that took me from earning nothing to over 200K on Etsy, then I'd 100% recommend to check this video out. But if not, as always, don't be afraid to subscribe. I love all of you guys. Best of luck with your Etsy journeys, and I'll see you on the next one.